Welcome back, Customizer Kitties, to another Customizer's Corner. And what are we customizing in this corner today? Well, if you can't tell by the image on the screen, that would be the Gokai Saber. Now, the Gokai Saber, it does actually have individual light effects for the different keys. So it'll glow green for like a green key, red for a red key, so on and so forth. So its electronics will probably be a little bit more complicated than anything we've opened up so far. There are 18 screws in this, and you need to remove all of them in order to open it, including the 4 on this chamber alone. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, a lot, even more than 18. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, yeah. So the first part we have to remove in order to get to everything else. So we have to remove this top plate here. That's 4 screws itself. Then we should just be able to lift this entire system off. That's the inside. And here we can take a look at the actual components of the Gokai Saber. So I, of course, left it plugged on so you can see everything working. But of course, if I flip it over so you can see the other side, it'll all spill out. So let's just do it this way. So once we've actually got the top plate off, you can see that the actual blade itself can easily be removed. So if you want to replace the blade, there you go. We've got the lock here, which releases with a very complicated system. I mean, look at how complicated it is. The system, the mechanics have to go through just to release that. The actual locking sound, if you look right here, is from this switch here. So basically you get the locking sound when it hits it, and that holds it in that position. And when it's released, it gives a different sound. Of course, we've got a pretty simple latch key. We've got a pretty simple lever-based system for this push button here. There's a speaker. We've got the wires for the speaker that feed over into the board here. And you can see right here, because electronics were created originally in the United States, the electronic notes here are standardized to English. So if you look here, there are wires for red, green, blue, and then the ground. So these 4 wires, well, yeah, there's only 4 wires, but there's multiple levels of those wires, feed across over to here. And the signal that they get from the key will determine which one of these to turn on and in what intensity. And that's how you get your different colors. So it's an RGB switch. The button, of course, here is for the trigger. Pretty simple electronics there. As you can see, it's got 1 wire, 1 white wire, maybe 2 white wires that feed out to the speaker system, because everything has to route through the speaker. And those wires, from what I can tell, also come up to, because everything is color-coded here, which is very nice, makes it easy to understand it. So the white wires go over here, they go under. Maybe it'll allow you to see it a little bit better. lots of individually, you turn that off, lots of individually molded little components. You see it's got 2 battery compartments. You can see there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's see what happens when I put a key in here. Obviously it's off so you won't hear any sounds, but there's no visible setup here, but you can bet it's going to be a pin system. And of course, I'm not going to tear apart this entire thing because it's pretty complicated, but I can do it if there's enough interest. But that's the inside of the Gokai Saber. And of course, if you wanted to, say, expand this, make this to show accurate size, there's a few things you're going to have to keep aware of. First of all, while you can easily extend this out to make it, large enough for a grip the size in the show, you're going to have to be aware of the wiring here. You can't just pull this straight out and extend it, because you've got a cable here that you've got to be aware of. So if you were to do that, what you might want to do is after you've extended this out, move this into the extended handle, and then of course reroute the wire. Or just elongate this wire here, desolder it and put a new one in there. A few different ways you can do it. Similarly, if you want to do, again, it's going to be tricky to turn it over, but if you want to, say, take the light gimmick here and match it to both sides, that's going to be kind of tricky. I mean, obviously, all you have to do is do a split on the wires, take the exact same RGB LED here, mirror it over here, but then you still got to figure out where you're going to mount the speaker. Me personally, if I were going to do that, I'd see about wiring the speaker here, because this will be covered up, most of the time. You're not going to be looking straight down. So if you could rewire your speaker to be in here, then you could get lights on both sides, but that would be kind of tricky, as I have explained. But basically, that's the inner workings of the Gokai Saber. It's got a lot more going for it than anything else we've seen so far. And for obvious reasons, it would take a lot more caution if you wanted to modify it some way. So with that said, this has been another Customizer Corner, the Gokai Saber. Idne, ikuze. See you all next time, Customizer Kitties.